All right, this video is to help you sketch a parabola given an equation. So first thing I'm going to do is take note of where the vertex is. So I've got an equation of the form f of x is equal to a multiplied by x subtract p squared plus q. And I'm going to take note of my vertex and just write it over here really quickly. So since I have a positive 1 here, this x value is actually a negative 1 because if I have x minus negative 1, it's going to give me the x plus 1. So I've got negative 1, and then my q value tells me that I have negative 3 as my y coordinate. So I'm going to plot that on my plane really quick here. Negative 1, negative 3 goes right down here, and that is my vertex. That's going to be really helpful when I find other coordinates because it actually determines where my axis of symmetry is, which is right through the vertex. Now the first thing I'm going to do is plug x equals 0 into my equation. I'm going to make all x's 0 because it's really easy for me to solve for. So I've got f of 0. 0 goes in for x in all areas of the equation. I have f of 0 is equal to 2, 0 add 1, all squared, subtract 3. According to order of operations, I'm going to do brackets first. So I have 2 multiplied by 0 plus 1 is just 1, squared, subtract 3. 1 squared is my next step according to order of operations. And 1 squared is just 1 multiplied by 1, which is still 1. It's still being multiplied by that 2 there, and subtract 3. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2, and I'm going to subtract 3, which is going to give me negative 1. And that's my y value. So my x value is 0, and my y value, since I solved for y, remember f of x is the same as y, I now have my coordinate, and that coordinate is 0, negative 1. So I'm going to stick that on my plane here. So I'm going to move 0 in the x and negative 1 in the y. And remember that axis of symmetry tells us that if there's a point on the right-hand side, there is a reflected point on the opposite side of the axis of symmetry there. So now I've got 2 points on my graph. And I'm going to do, you can sketch right there, but I'm going to do one more point just to be really sure that I have a clear sketch of my parabola. So I've got f of 1 I'm going to replace x with 1. That's a nice easy number as well. So f of 1 is 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1 all squared, subtract 3. 1 plus 1 is 2, so I've got 2 multiplied by 2 squared, subtract 3. 2 squared is 4, so I've got 2 multiplied by 4, subtract 3. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. I've still got the subtract 3, so my y value is a 5. So now my next point that I have is 1 in the x, 5 in the y. So 1 over and 5 up. And that point is going to be reflected across the line of symmetry, so it's 1, 2 spaces away from the line. So 1, 2 spaces away from the line on the left. And there we go. I've got my parabola that I can now sketch, and you can see it opens upwards because I have a positive a value, which is 2. It's a little bit more narrow than my original equation, which would be y equals x squared, and it has that vertex there that we got from the original equation. So that is how you can sub values into your equation to solve for y and to get points on the graph.